Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt, and on today's episode, we are talking about Westworld. Yes, I am a day late, but you know what? Sunday night is gonna be my Westworld day, and I decided to see Avengers again. So, you know what? Blame the fact that I really liked the Avengers movie on me being a day late, since I didn't get to see it until this morning because Monday I worked a 10, 11-hour shift, so I was tired, came home, slept. So that's been what I've been doing. But anyway, we are now talking about it, so I'm sorry it's a day late, but you guys should be used to this by now. I mean, come on. Okay, let's just get into it. It's Season 2, Episode 2 of Westworld. Let's go. I'm going to start off this video by basically saying, now that the cat's out of the bag and that we know there are multiple timelines going on, this is so hard to keep track of. My mind is working overdrive when I'm watching Westworld, trying to be like, okay, so this is taking place at this moment in time, and then a character will show up and you're like, nope, it's a different moment in time. Okay. And while it's definitely confusing, I still really liked it, and I'm still just like, I kind of like being confused by the show because by the end of it, things start to tie in, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is where we're going. And I kind of have a feeling that the last episode of this season is going to take place after the whole massacre of those hosts that were dead in the ocean that was built that they didn't know that was there. So I feel like the main part of this whole season is going to be taking place the time in between the ending of the last season where they were shooting up all of the investors and stuff of Delos into the point where either it stops when these hosts decide to all commit suicide together. We don't really know what's happening there. Or maybe it's going to end kind of with a bang like last season to where all of the hosts are presumably dead and Delos is like, okay, we need to get rid of these. Like, this is going to be a major lawsuit on our hand right now. And then they all rise up and kill them, and then they take over Delos and all of the parks and want to conquer the world? I mean, that's my day 2 theory. It's going to change a million times from now, so I'm probably very, very wrong. But I like to think that the actual through thread of this episode, at least, is going to be Dolores and Teddy and all of them. Well, Dolores kind of like teaching Teddy a little bit more about what's going on, and then also getting herself an army. And we learn that Dolores has actually been outside in the real world several times. She has seen these cities. She has seen crowds and these investor parties and stuff like that. And it's helping influence her, and all of her insider knowledge is helping her basically take over Delos, and the world, I'm assuming, is coming next. And really, this doesn't answer like any questions whatsoever. Besides, I now know that the Maeve storyline in episode 1 was taking place directly after the first massacre of the investors of Delos. And her timeline is sort of converging a little bit with Dolores. We see that they meet for the first time in this episode, which I did not think was long enough. I want a big meeting of the minds, because these two are basically, I don't know if you can call Maeve conscious, but that is what Dolores figured she was. She's like, oh, okay, you've discovered your consciousness. And she said that in not those words, but she did kind of say something like that. And there was this really interesting like power struggle between the two of them, and it was just too short of a scene. I wish we'd gotten more, but let's be real, we're totally getting more. And I watched a really interesting review or recap of the first episode that kind of played with the idea that Dolores is the villain of the story, and Maeve is set up to be the hero. And you kind of see the sort of clashing between them, where Dolores is kind of becoming a bit of a dictator in a way, whereas Maeve is like on the consciousness side of, you know, being free and being able to do all of these things, even though she does technically have like a captive human in a way. And you also see in this episode the ruthlessness that Dolores has extends to other hosts. So it's not like she's protecting all of the hosts and destroying humankind. She's really just going through anybody who will stop her in her way. And eventually, I have a feeling it's going to be Maeve. And that's going to be a war worth watching. Because I really don't think that those two are going to be getting along on a professional level in the show. Just two different ideal sets that really, Yeah, you don't think it, because in the first season it's interesting because they really do frame Dolores as a hero type. She's the one you root for, whereas Maeve is more ruthless. She's willing to basically commit suicide over and over again to kind of take control of these sort of scientists or whatever they're called, the cleanup crew basically. And then she also leaves a little group of savage people through and to kill a whole bunch of the Delos guards and stuff like that. So you kind of see her more the villain role, whereas this season it seems like they're switching a little bit and Dolores is the lunatic and Maeve is going to be sort of the actual person that the host will eventually want to follow, if she even wants that job. I also like the return of Ben Barnes in this because I really liked him in the first season. I thought he was a really interesting character. And you kind of see the downward spiral that basically he got sucked into. You see him first interacting with hosts, which I thought was a great scene, to where he invests in Westworld. And then you see later on the line, basically his downward spiral into, drugs and stuff that William has sent him on. After he has sort of taken over the company that should technically be his. And it's also great to see William start to become the Man in Black character that we know him to be in the present day, I guess. Also in this episode, you get great Man in Black stuff to where basically, oh God, what is his name? Jonathan, I think is his name, the Anthony Hopkins character in this, who does voiceover but is not actually appearing in the season, who has kind of designed a game especially for William, the Man in Black older version. I think that's for him. And William is basically, he is determined to set this whole place on fire. He is done with Westworld, and he's using Lawrence back from season 1 to help him out, and it's going to be really interesting how all of these things converge, and I cannot wait to see other worlds. I want to see the samurai world, which I always forget the name of, Goshen. That's probably totally wrong. But I also want to know what these other worlds are. There's probably like an Amazon world. I bet there's like an ancient Egypt world. I don't know, maybe like a Revolutionary War world. I wonder if they partnered with Disney and there's like an actual Disney world that's just more immersive than the actual Disney World that we know. Overall, pretty happy with the episode. We still don't know what happened to Tessa Thompson's character or any of that. We don't see any of the Delos guards that we know. Yeah, I'm so excited to just be confused for the next 8 weeks. I really am, which is so weird. But I'm very happy where this is going, and hopefully we can turn in a great sophomore season, not have there be a slump of any sort. And I swear, if Evan Rachel Wood does not at least get an Emmy nomination, she should win from what I'm seeing of her. She should definitely win. Then, I don't know what's going on with the world. I really don't. Okay, I'm going to head out. I hope you guys liked this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on the season so far? Also, don't forget to subscribe. I make videos Monday through Friday for the most part. I've got Avengers spoiler. I got Avengers prediction. I've got Back to the Future 3 coming up this week. And then next week, it's Mother's Day week. So my mom picked the 5 movies that I am reviewing. So we'll get there. Okay, bye.